It's not race, it's behavior. Today marks the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Have we lived up to it? Are we equal under the law? Yes, we are. But the outcomes are not equal, and they never will be. Nonetheless, there is a problem when we talk about America and its racial divide. Part of that problem, large part, is out of wedlock birth, is criminal behavior. Alan West writes in today's U.S. News and World Report, citing some of the stats that says black males comprise 6 to 7% of American population, but are responsible for nearly 55% of violent crimes. Now, this is not comfortable to talk about, and the mainstream media certainly is not going to do its job in reporting crime with a race-neutral policy in those reports, in the sense of black on white crime or white on black crime. The latter will definitely get coverage. The former, well, it's epidemic, and that's a problem. But again, it really isn't race, it's behavior. And that is something that we need, as Americans, to mention. Does that mean we ignore the racial motivations behind a crime? No, but it shouldn't be factored into the law, and that's hate crimes. I'm against those in the sense of, you're against hate crime? Thanks, Crane. We're all against hate crime. Yeah, any kind of crime, right? But bottom line, I don't think somebody should be more equal under the law, or one crime is greater than another when the physical act happens in the way it did, going inside somebody's mind. Plus, it'll be used to silence Christians. Another story. Don't want to go down the rabbit hole. Stay on point. And here's the point. You have nearly 75% of children born out of wedlock. You have a gangster culture that is glorified. And you have abortion. And as Alan West mentions in his great article today, U.S. News and World Report, over the last 40 years, they've seen 13 million abortions in the black community. That's 13 million black babies aborted, as he put it. The black community would be 36% greater, save for this tragedy, this genocide. That's what he wrote. Now, bottom line, I mentioned the article for information, but also to make a point that what Alan West is saying won't be picked up by a lot of mainstream outlets. And it is also something that many feel that Alan West, being of color, can say, while others, like Crane Durham, cannot say, because it will be looking at criticizing a racial group. Homie, don't play that. Bottom line, I am acknowledging the realities within a community that are put forth to me as an American. I don't want to put it black, white, but if we are talking about a racial grievance industry, as we've seen through identity politics being elevated, the charge is that what is really wrong here is discrimination, when it's not. It's behavior. And if person who is white engages in the types of behavior that we are seeing, we are going to see a similar result, and statistics back that. Behavior is not, the results are not changed by the color. We see what happens. Take daddy out, put government in, and government's a really bad daddy. So the discussion today is, it's not race, it's behavior. Let's focus on that. What we saw today in Washington, D.C. is the idea to take any criticism of the state, which has moved in to take care of what daddy should be doing, and incentivizing dependence. That's the result. They are being criticized. The state is being criticized. Now, if you can silence those that are criticizing you, you can keep doing what you're doing, even if you're 17 trillion in the hole. And so that's the charge. we can't deal with the criticism. We can't deal with our record, that being the left's, Obama administration specifically, record. So what we have to do is we've got to protect ourselves from people mentioning our record. What a great way to do that, to say, if they mention our record, you know what we're going to do? That's racist. And that's what's going on today with the invoking of economics and economic justice. It is not new, as I detailed on the show earlier. It was the original Occupy movement. Now, when I look at legacies out of Martin Luther King, I look at equality under law, content of character, and not color of skin. He is an American hero, an icon. But bottom line, there are other parts that were taken from his legacy that have been turned around, so much so that they are actually represent what he fought against. Interesting, isn't it? So the people claiming his legacy are using it to destroy his legacy, and that would be equality under law. He did speak to economic justice, and there was an economic Bill of Rights. You can hear more about that in the first segment of tonight's show. I know I went a little long, but I want to make it really clear. We are not a racist country, and the race hustlers are bringing it up. The left is bringing it up, and they're welcoming and embracing it because they have nothing else. Their record speaks for itself. And what we need to do is we need to speak up as Americans, not white Americans, not black Americans, as Americans, and point out behavior and explain to the people that are attempting to silence us, hey, when you take God out, our Father, out, and you replace it with the state, there are consequences. And we can talk more about those as time goes on. Nonetheless, hey, keep speaking nothing but truth. Speak truth in love. Know that God knows you, God loves you, God created you, and you're worth it. And live with honor in your life, compassion in your heart, and always keep the faith. Hey, thanks for joining me. Went a little long tonight, but it was warranted. God bless.